Yes, that is right. I wanted to be a video essay YouTuber, but obviously I wasn't going to get that far if you were recording it on pages. No one's going to see that, idiot. And so I decided that I wanted to help my tiny self out and make his video essay. It's about Rayman mobile games, which, to give him credit, that's a pretty interesting idea, so good job. Anyway, here it is. Sorry if I'm really squeaky and don't know what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of games I consider masterpieces. Examples like Old Boy Stranger's Wrath,
Chicken,
Sly Cooper.
You're such a bad bitch, though.
Because mostly, they're classics. And the franchise I'm going to be talking about today is one of those classic games that is very highly regarded. And that is the Rayman franchise. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, you're going to talk about the Rayman franchise, talk about all the individual games and, you know, review them.
Yes.
But actually, I'm going to do something different. Instead of talking about, wow, the Rayman series is really good, because people have already said that a million times before, I'm going to talk about the downfall of Rayman games. Now, I don't really have experiences with the original Rayman games. They're good games, I just haven't really played them. So I can't really form an opinion. The ones I like the most, though, definitely has to be Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. These two games are absolutely amazing. Rayman Origins is just perfect.
Whoa.
So, what could possibly make this series go downhill? I mean, doesn't seem like it could. Well, mobile games. Mobile games are mixed about. There's some mobile games, definitely in the earlier years, that were really, really good. Like Jetpack Joyride and Adland. Those were really good games that took the mobile device to its limit. And they were good. But now we've entered a modern age, mobile games are not good. The main reason for this is the advertising scheme they have. They make some pretty terrible adverts. And people still seem to want to get the game. I don't know what demographic this is, probably 3-year-old kids. So, yeah, mixed feelings about mobile games. They're okay. But what if Rayman made a mobile game? Well, they just did. I'm not sure when it was, but I feel like it was a few years after Rayman Origins came out, that a game came onto the App Store called Rayman Jungle Run. This was the first mobile Rayman game. And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, Rayman for mobile? That sounds great. And for the most part, it is great. Everything seems to have that old Rayman feel, but it does have a twist. Instead of freely moving like you would do on the console games, you would endlessly run, and your main objective is to collect all 100 lums. Now, this sounds simple in concept, but I tell you, these lums are going to be the bane of your existence. And that's not a joke. This may be a kid's game, but it doesn't play like a kid's game. It plays dirty. There are a lot of lums that are quite hard to get, like ones that are floating in the air, moving around, or just heavily protected by something. Now, it may be just my skill level, because I was very young when I started playing this game. So, yeah, that was probably just me, but, you know, I tried my best. This game really has practice all over it, because the first few levels were just you practicing different moves, like jumping, flying, or punching, and they'll have several levels practicing on that skill, so you get good at it. And then the last few levels brings them all together, which is definitely my favourite part of the game. Now, these first few worlds aren't really worth mentioning. They're kind of boring, really. I mean, yeah, you want to practice, but longest practice ever. Like, seriously, it takes way too long. It shouldn't really take that long. Alright, so I'm going to be talking about the last few worlds. They're a lot more interesting. These levels play like a traditional Rayman game. But of course, you know, you have the endless runner sort of thing. And these are completely new levels. They didn't just rehash levels. I mean, I don't think they did. But they did reuse assets, like, you know, the enemies. But I mean, that's given. You just gotta do what you gotta do. And there isn't any other themes here. There is a snow theme in one of the levels. But it's mostly just grass, so it can get a little bit repetitive. But these last few levels definitely pick up the pace. Like, for example, there's levels where you run away from a pirate ship. Pretty sure that was in Origins, but they do it quite well here, so it doesn't really matter. And also you get chased by that thing called Daisy. You know, the thing, the big spiky monster. He's called Daisy. See, I know the lore. A feature I really like about this game is the Night of the Living Dead levels. You get these by completing every single level with 100 lums. And then you unlock this new level, which is challenging. Like, really challenging. If you thought the game on its own wasn't challenging, well, wait until you play these levels. Because they really spice up the challenge. Or it could be, you know, because I'm still bad at games. But whatever. So, in conclusion, Rayman Jungle Run is pretty good. There isn't really much to talk about in this game. Because, well, it's just your typical endless runner. You don't really need much. And, well, I was going to give this game a pass. But then I realized something. Now, there isn't any microtransactions in here. Luckily, we weren't in the phase of big microtransactions. So, luckily, that never happened. I mean, until Adventures. But we'll get to that.
Oh no!
So, there is no, like, currency or coins you can get in this game. It's not like that. But there is one price thing, which is a character pack. It gets you, like, Evil Rayman and Glowbox. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, it's not the worst one. It's pretty forgiving, but I'm not sure how long you want to play this game for. I mean, once you're done, there's not really much else to do, is there? So, these extra characters are kind of pointless, really. I wish they were just playable from the start. But yeah, Rayman Jungle Run, pretty good. Let's move on to the next one. Rayman Fiesta Run. Oh, Fiesta Run? Yeah, Fiesta Run. Rayman Fiesta Run was the second mobile game. Now, I wasn't really expecting a second mobile game, because, you know, I thought it was just going to be a one-off. But I was happy to welcome this thing, because, you know, it's another Rayman mobile game. And the last one was pretty good. So let's see what we have in store here. And wow, this game really topped the original. Like, wow. There is so much to do in this game, and it's not because, you know, you gotta, like, do missions or backtrack, but I mean, the amount of levels in this game will keep you going for days, I swear, because you've got normal levels, but you've also got a more difficult version of the level for each level, which means you're gonna be there for a while. So, what is this game? It's another endless runner. Now, I was kinda disappointed, just a tiny bit, because, you know, this endless runner thing was in the last game, and maybe we could get more freedom, but it was fine. Instead of a normal jungle theme, this had much more themes, like ice and fire, and ice and fire, and a belly. Okay, I admit, the themes weren't that cool, but they're definitely more interesting than the whole jungle thing. Another thing upgraded was the visuals. They've got a more Rayman Legends-esque look now, which means they look much better. Now, the goal of this game is a little different, because instead of just grinding to get 100% and unlock the Night of the Living Dead levels, you would actually use your lums to free the tint seeds. You know, those little blue things from Rayman Legends. Not sure if they're in anything else, but they're there. And they actually help you progress the game. Like, you need lums to progress. So, if you want to get to that certain level, you're going to have to get enough lums to get there. Which, I guess, could be annoying. But it only gets really annoying in the end, where you have to get a lot of lums to get to the Day of the Dead levels, but that's very far into the game. So really, it's not a pain, just get enough lumps. Now this game, if the first game wasn't hard enough, makes it even harder. There are so many new things that tried to stop you in this game. I'm not really sure if I can list them all, but I'll try. There's lava now, there's dragons from Rayman Origins, there's that belly guy, you know, the one. I don't know his name this time, but the belly guy. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I bet I didn't even scrape the bottom of the barrel. So this game is very good. I think it's kind of underrated, really. I mean, not many people seem to play it other than just those casual gameplay channels. It's sad to see, because this is a really good game, and I think you should still play it today. It's aged quite well. Now, I would be done talking about this game, but there's a few more things we need to talk about. So, I'm not sure if it was an update or just free DLC, but they released new content for this, including a brand new world called Candy World. And I really thought that, you know, the base game was good enough, but Candy World is just, oh my god, it's even better. I would argue it's a little bit harder for my taste, but it's still a good time. And they added new things like those birds. Remember the birds from Rayman? Probably don't, but they're there. And it's just really cool. It's even got a boss battle. I know it is just that bird from Rayman. They're stealing assets, but I don't care. These levels are original, alright? Original in my eyes, anyway. So, yeah. But then there's a problem. The power-ups and characters. Yeah, not only did we have lots of characters, but we also have power-ups now. Now, the characters, there's a lot more of them. And luckily, they're not behind a paywall. They're actually how they should be. Mobile game designers. Paid with in-game currency, which is the lumps. But damn, some of these are really expensive, like way too expensive. Like, I just want to buy a character. I just want to buy slimy green Rayman. It's not much to ask. Jeez. The power-ups are kinda a tease too. I mean, we don't really need power-ups. I mean, I must admit, I did use some. But I don't think we should need power-ups because, you know, people should learn the games on their own. And if they rage, well, you're just bad at the game, just admit it. And, well, yes, I do feel a little bit cheap for using the power-ups. I guess they're useful, but I don't think they were really needed in this game. I think it was just fine on its own. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is the more difficult levels. As I mentioned, there are more difficult versions of levels now. And they're not kidding. They are much more difficult. And yes, they do make me rage. But I can definitely appreciate that they're actually original levels. I mean, some levels just have minor tweaks. So look, more enemies now, wow. But most of them are original. So yeah, I can appreciate that. Enough about that game. Rayman Fiesta Run. I don't know how, but you topped Rayman Jungle Run. Let's see what we have next. Oh. Okay. Not sure about this one. Rayman Adventures. Now, this was definitely a big gap. I mean, I don't think anyone was expecting a third Rayman mobile game, because 2 on its own was fine. You just needed another console game, right? But no. We got another mobile game. Okay, we're a little bit stretching now. This mobile game was completely different from the others, and I guess I'm okay with that, but, you know, you can have, you know, one more game for the console. But it's fine, so I picked it up and played it. Now, I started off the game, and we already went into action. We could pick from 2 characters. The girl, ooh, who wants to play as a girl? But yeah, I picked Rayman, and we started going. And something confused me when I first saw it. But how is this red-bearded guy in a parrot? Seems like they actually had some original assets for this one, and then they wasted it on a character who does nothing but go, aha, when you complete a level. That was my impression. And no, that was not the parrot. That's the sound the guy makes, I'm pretty sure. You need to get that checked, dude. It's kind of weird. So yeah, I was trying to get an egg. This is weird. So I hatched the egg, and now we have some lore about, you know, families eggs that need to be rescued. I kept playing, and then I kept playing, and then I kept playing, and then I kept playing. This game goes on forever. Yeah, that's right, this game, if I'm completely sure, never ends. It's pretty much endless. I mean, I guess there is one objective, but the game, it's like, I get Rayman Fiesta Run may have taken you a long time, but at least it was entertaining. These levels, I don't know, they just get boring, like really boring. Like the more you go on, you just get the same old levels, because there's only about like 10 different levels. It's just like all the same thing. Now, I know you're probably thinking, whoa, that was a change in mood. I don't know what to think about this game. It's okay. Let's talk about some of the positives. Positive, it's not an endless runner. Well, kind of. I guess you kind of run automatically, but now you can change direction. That's pretty cool. And also, there's different sort of objectives you gotta have, like collect all the llams or save all the tinsies. It's kind of like Rayman Legends. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And there's microtransactions. Why? Yep, there's some microtransactions in this game. I mean, they're not forced into your face, but the menu screen is kind of messy. Open these gifts or buy these potions so you can speed up your eggs. I thought I was playing Rayman, not My Singing Monsters. Nothing against that game, but these are completely separate games. I don't know why they had to do this, but they did. And it kind of just ruined the game for me. And Rayman Adventures is just not one I really want to come back to. But then there was this certain world that surprised me. A original Rayman world. I mean, all the other worlds were just ripped straight from Rayman Legends. Except for the Fiesta skeleton guys. They weren't in there. Bye, Skelly boy. But there was one that stood out to me. It was a completely original world where we had samurais. And it looked really cool. And I was wondering, why is this not in Rayman Legends as, you know, a new world? I mean, we had some advanced edition of Rayman Legends. Why couldn't they add, like, an extra one? That's sad. Sad they have to keep this in a mobile game. So, yeah, I'm not going to talk about this one for long. There's a lot of stuff to do in the game. Like, you can make your pet sing. Yeah, there's too much to cover in this game. Just letting you know it's not as good as the other games. So after a third Rayman mobile game, we wanted something else. The fans were kind of getting a little bit, can we have another console game? You know, that sort of stuff. And then something released. Rayman Mini. Oh my god. A game that consists of Rayman being small? That's a pretty cool concept. It's a mobile game. Another mobile game. Okay, yep, sure. The fans were not happy. Because obviously we've had too many Rayman mobile games. Where was the series? It didn't even celebrate its anniversary. It just kind of went away. Was Rayman dying? Did it give in to the mobile gods? Now this was like exclusive for Apple Arcade, which for some Android users was a big low. But the community just wanted something else, so I guess this is all we had, so we could play it. Now, Rayman Mini is a good game, don't get me wrong. Sadly, it's another endless runner, which, you know, I wish it was kind of like the last game. More explorative, but, you know, can't deal with those things. And everything just looks so beautifully done, and it's got no microtransaction or ads this time, but it's a mobile game that's behind a paid service. Like, it's just not the same as the console games where you could do so much. And this game just feels like, well, the Rayman people are just not caring about the franchise anymore. Just giving it away to whoever gets their hands on it. So yeah, Rayman Mini is a good game, but I don't know. At that point, I just felt that all hope was lost with the Rayman series. And if you want a quick rundown of the game, it's basically just the same as your Jungle Run or Fiesta Run, but your Mini, and, you know, there's lots of stuff, but I couldn't even get through the whole game. Usually I would have like a few hours in each game, but I couldn't really get into this game. I just got bored of the same premise over and over again. Like, it's not as fun as it once was. Now it's just come to the point where it bores me. So yeah, Rayman Mini, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's a fine game, but it kind of marked the series' death. And I'm not sure whenever we'll see that little Rayman face again.
Those days are over.
So yeah, that was basically my rundown of the Rayman mobile games. Now, since this is all done in one take, I probably forgot a few things. I think I did a well enough job talking about how, you know, Rayman games kind of devolved. But, you know, maybe we'll get a new one. And not just another port of Rayman Legends, like, come on!
So there was the video essay. It was alright, it was fine, I guess. Well done. I would just like to give a little update, because things have changed since I recorded that video. As of now, all the Rayman games are not available to play. Like, you could play them at the time I was recording that, but now none of them are available. Not even Rayman Mini, so great. That's awesome. But apparently Ubisoft are trying to make a remake and a new game. People say that it's rumored that the remake is Rayman Legends. Why would you remake Rayman Legends? It's already fine. So yeah, I don't think I really believe that rumor. We're just gonna have to see what happens with Rayman, really.